So today I'm going to be sharing with you how I would invest $1,000 into cryptocurrencies in 2022. I'm not going to waste any more of your time, and let's get straight into this video. So my next strategy is finding cryptocurrencies. Now what I recommend to you is don't invest in the top 100 cryptocurrencies because the market cap is already way too high to get the 10x or the 100x on the actual top 100. That's why I recommend to you to invest in altcoins. And that's a strategy I'm going to follow with you because you've only got $1,000 to invest. Now, if you had more money to play with, definitely would recommend to go into some of the top 100 cryptocurrencies. But because you only, like I mentioned, you only got 1,000, you need to go into the altcoins. Alright, so now I'm going to share with you a strategy that you can do to find the 10x to 100x cryptocurrencies. Now, there's more strategies out there, but this is just a simple way that you can do this. Now, first up, you need to come over to CoinGecko. So when you're on CoinGecko, you just want to be on the home page and hover over the coins tab and go to categories. Now you can do the same over on CoinMarketCap. On CoinMarketCap, you're just on the home page and you just scroll down until you can see categories and you click on categories. And now as you can see on both tabs, there's a lot of different categories that you can choose from. Me personally, I like to focus on the one category and go all in on that category. So the gaming space is great. The metaverse space, the NFT space, they're all in one category in my mind. I feel like they're all connected. The gaming space is going to be huge. NFTs are going to be involved in the gaming space. Those are my picks, and I personally would recommend to go all in on one category, one area that you like the most. Now you don't have to follow what I'm doing, but you can do yield farming, you can do the finance space, you can do the lending space, privacy coins, Ethereum staking, sports, I'm not sure what area that is, insurance. There's so many different spaces that you can go into. The music space, the DAO maker space, it's so many options for you to choose from, but I personally would pick the gaming space myself. Alright, so now that you're in the category that you've chosen, now what I will do is look at the top cryptocurrencies in the category. Now you can go into both CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko and look at the same categories and figure out the top projects in that list. What I would normally do is do some research into the top 5 that are in the 100, the 1 billion mark, the 2 billion mark, and figure out what made them successful. Look at their white paper, look at their team, recognize some things that made them successful. Now this is just something that I normally like to do to figure out what makes that project successful, so then maybe it gives hints of other projects that you research into that are actually could have potential success, that have similar things that are going on. So that's something that I would like to look into. I would like to look into the team, the sponsors, and I also like to look at the overall community. So you can go into the Telegram, the Discord, and just have a little bit of chat with even the founders, the mods. You can find out information in there. Ask them why is this project, what are they doing with this project, things like that. You can find updates and information about the project, and you can question the project as well. So that's what I would recommend to first do, just look at a few successful projects. So now what I'll do is go back to the categories again and look at the 100 to 150 million mark and below and get a list of projects, list out 5 to 10 of them. It depends on what you want. You can list out more if you want, but that's what I recommend, just the 5 to 10. Now do some research into each of these projects once you have got a list. You've seen already successful projects, you've seen what they've got. Now they don't have to be exactly the same, they have to be as big as a team, because some of these more successful projects have already been established and have already got the teams, big team and everything like that. But you just want to see some similar things from the projects that have been successful to the ones that you're researching now. So what I would do is look at the team. Has the team got any background in anything at all? Successful in any other projects? This is the sort of things that you want to look for. Has anyone on the team got any success on any other projects outside of cryptocurrencies? That's something to look for as well. You want to look at, is a team doxed? Is a team revealed? Do you know who they are? Can you look at their profiles on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn? Then you want to look at do they have any sponsors? Do you recognize any of the sponsors? Look and maybe even research the sponsors a little bit. Gather some questions if you want and go into their Telegram, their Discord and ask them questions about the project. You can also look it up on YouTube, look up some videos about the project on YouTube. You might be able to get some details out of that. And then you can take that to the Discord and Instagram and their chats in general and just ask people the questions. that you come up with. That's what I would recommend to do before you invest in a project. See if it's going anywhere. So now, once you've picked the cryptocurrencies that you wish to invest into, now you need to look at the prices. Now this is what I recommend for you to do first, is look at the Bitcoin graph. Has Bitcoin made any moves? If the second that Bitcoin makes their move and goes up, that is normally 2 weeks after altcoins normally take off. That is just a rough guess. It's not always 100% accurate, but around 2 weeks later, altcoins make the move. And that's when you should be buying into your altcoins. Just as soon as Bitcoin starts making the move. That's when you invest into these altcoins. Now the other strategy you can do is follow simply investing into it when it's really low, when it's down in the dumps, when it's like really cheap compared to, let's say, a month or two ago when it was at like 10x the price, or 5x or 3x. That's when you should be investing into it. What I normally do is I'll look at the lowest points. So let's say on CoinGecko it says it was $1.80 a month ago or 3 months ago, and now it peaked at $11 or $5 or $6, and now it's $1, $1.20, $1.50. That's normally my indication when I would say it's a good buy. That's when I personally would buy into the project, because it's so low already. There's not really much potential for it to go much lower unless it's a really bad project. But I'm not investing in bad projects. So that's my strategy. There's 2 ways you can do it, and you can go about it either way. If you haven't got a lot of time to always be checking Bitcoin prices, letting you know when it's going up, that's fine. You can just do the second strategy and look at the low price. If it's a low price, it's worth probably buying. So that's my strategy into making sure that I'm not buying into a cryptocurrencies that overhyped. I'm not going to be buying into something that's already 20x to 10x and it hasn't got much potential for it to go much higher. I'm not going to be looking into buying into those, even if they go up to 50x, because it's too risky. You're going to most likely lose your money if it goes down 50%. You just lost 50% of whatever money you invested. So it's a risky game. If you follow the strategy that I shared, that's a much smarter play. You're not buying into the hype. It is not something you need to do, and I wouldn't recommend it. Now, does this have to all match up to actually be perfect to actually make money? 10x to 5x to do 100x? No, not really. It doesn't always have to be perfect, but if there's signs of the project having some sort of potential, then it could be a 10x, 5x potential. So now, once you've figured out which cryptocurrencies that you're bought into, now the next step is to know when to sell, which is the most important part of this. Don't listen to the diamond hands, don't listen to people telling you to hold to the moon. I would recommend to ignore the noise. Do this strategy of as soon as you 2x to 3x to 4x, it doesn't really matter. You find which area you feel comfortable with. As soon as you 2x to 4x, that's my personal strategy. If I 2x or 4x and I see that, then I'm instantly taking my initial investment out, even some profit. But most of the time I'll take the initial investment out, and if I believe the project can still go up more, I will leave the others just riding it. If it goes up to 5 to 10x, I will most likely take out majority of that profit, half to 60%, 50 to 60% of that. And then if I still believe the project has some still growth potential, if it goes up 10x or 15x or 20x, majority of the time I will take the rest out. Now it's truly up to you what you do in that area, but that's what I would do. Sometimes you can let it ride out. If you think it's going to go way higher, then that's fine. You can leave 50% of that profit in if you wish, and let it ride out. But if you think it hasn't got much movement, let's say it goes to like 500 million to a billion market cap, then maybe it doesn't have too much movement left. So then you just take the rest out anyway. That's what I recommend to you. So that's my strategy down to the T. That's what I would do if I had $1,000 in cryptocurrency right now, if you do what I just shared with you. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to let me know, and thank you for watching.